Urgent charity appeal. This summer, one woman faces unimaginable hardship. Her exotic, totally legit, kind of mysterious husband Salah has run out of romance tokens. And your wallet is the only cure. He came for love. She came for extra views. Together, they created a whirlwind cross-cultural fairy tale built on live streams, loyalty points, and suspicious paperwork. The Foodiethebeauty Totally Not a Scam Support Foundation. Because what's life without a few well-timed cash apps and a sprinkle of faux urgency? She's not asking for much, just your unwavering financial devotion for vague goals she'll explain later. Maybe. Every day, one woman battles the overwhelming challenges of indulgence, side-eyeing salads, and bravely choosing full-fat cream. Don't let another chicken wing go uncelebrated. Your generosity ensures that no treat gets left behind, because behind every snack is a story. But wait, there's a goal. This month's target, $5,000 for content creation essentials, and a lifetime access to exclusive content, which may or may not appear. Terms include forgetting it ever existed. Acts fast, her dignity is on life support, and only your money can revive it. Foodiethebeauty is ready to not work for it, but she'll definitely tell you how hard she is trying in a 20-minute live stream while lying down. Call now or simply send cash directly to the subject line. Hope this helps. Please love me back. Because when it comes to love, lies, and chicken tenders, every donation counts.
Fuck out. Oh my god, she's a weirdo.
Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. Foodie has always seen herself as a somewhat benevolent presence. She sees herself as somebody who is kind and generous and empathetic, and has always failed to understand why people don't see her the same way. She's now found herself in a situation where she is seen as somewhat benevolent and charitable and generous and someone who could legitimately be a force for good. But the reason for this is basically the language barrier. Anybody who speaks the same language as Foodie knows that Foodie is not a good person. Anybody who's been exposed to any of her content knows she's not a good person. But now she's found herself in a country where people wouldn't have been exposed to her content, do not speak the language, so even if they sort out their content, they wouldn't necessarily understand the nuances that are very obvious indications of a flagrant narcissist who has no empathy, no sympathy, and doesn't care about anything or anyone apart from themselves and possibly how they are perceived by others. She claims that all the people that she has encountered in Syria know her history and accept her for who they are. Who she is, which I call complete and utter bullshit. Has Salah, acting as your translator, explained how you caught 3 different venereal diseases of the same man, a man who was accused of rape, that you provided alibis for said crime, someone who you did drugs with, amongst other things, and had a threesome with, amongst other things. Do they know about your OnlyFans? Do they know how you accidentally exposed yourself numerous times on video? Do they know about your alcoholism, your drug usage, your grifting for money, your pretense at being a good person? Do they know how you actively insult other people, other women, by talking about their genitals and the appearance of their genitals? Do they know these things? Do they know about the married Turkish man who had children who you had a relationship with? Do they know that you paid for a individual who was 19 years old for sex? Do they know your history, and do they accept you? Do they understand your haters and the level of bad publicity and hatred that spews forth revolving around you? Do these people whose English is not their first language, it's not their second language, it's not their language at all, are being translated via Salah? Do they know your entire story and accept you for who you are? And let's say, for argument's sake, they say, Malesh, this happened before you were a Muslim. Once you converted, reverted, everything was forgiven. Well, what about all the shit you've done since? The profanities you spew, the accusations you've made, the crimes you've committed, the insults and the talking about vile things that will be taken into consideration when you're judged. Do they know these things, and do they understand? Or are you and Salah trotting around giving $1 here and $1 there to appear as you are not? Did the parents of that child you paraded online yesterday understand what you were doing? Do they know your history of trying to get money? Do they know that you're leaving in a few days and be travelling a bit farther away, and by the time you get the money you're so desperately begging for, you've probably forgotten they exist? And even if you raise the money to get that child into a special school for 1 year, bearing in mind that most special schools are free, and it's only a matter of lack of space that means not everybody can get in, and that there is a school in Damascus that charges £1,000 a year, but people very rarely go there because they can't afford that kind of money. Say you raise the money to get it into school for a year. What happens after that year? Will you even remember she exists? Will you continue to raise $1,000 a year to get it into school until she's 15, 16 years old? Will you be around that long even? One, what you did yesterday just shows us how stupid you are. You know your audience, you know the kind of negativity you attract, and you know people aren't just going to accept this as what you're portraying it as. You're an idiot. I'm not going to believe for a second that you're naive and think that we're going to forgive everything you've done prior to this and just see it as an actual legitimate attempt at benevolence. Were you doing this for screen time? For people to talk about you? Because I can't. I mean, did you do it because you had to? Because Salah made you? Because he's an idiot too? I really cannot for a second think of any reason whatsoever why you would do this thinking it was a good idea. Have we reverted again? The minute you entered Syria, you became another person again. You can't reinvent yourself, Shala. Shala. Okay, let's call you both Shala. You can't reinvent yourselves. You can't rewrite your stories. It follows you. It's on the internet. When it's on the internet, it's for life. Additionally, it is not racist to assume that Salah is romance scamming you because you're white and fat. The reason we think Salah is scamming you has nothing to do with your appearance and looks. Yes, a white, grossly overweight woman can get a possibly attractive man to like them. That's not why we think that he's not with you because he loves you. We don't think he's with you because you are a foul, obnoxious, repugnant, pugnacious swamp hag of an individual who has no redeeming qualities whatsoever and has nothing to do with your appearance. We might question your fragrance, though, if we're going to be that petty. And so it is very obvious to anybody with two eyes and a brain cell that he doesn't love you. And he's with you for money. Because of, well, lack of chemistry, the fact that the only time the two of you seem to get on is when you're being mean girls together, which means you're more siblings than romantic partners. And, well, quite frankly, you're with him because you think he's handsome. He's with you because he thinks you can produce money. And the reason he doesn't want to travel is because he wants you to finance the rebuilding of his family home, which will give him status in Syria, owning a home that has AC and all the things that nobody else can fucking afford. And once he's got his status and, he can rebuild his legacy that he has in his brain, he's going to kick you to the curb. Or no, because you've got to continue to finance stuff, but he knows you're not going to be around for long because you're going to die. Because you've actually gained weight in a country that has food fucking insecurities. Well, bravo for managing that. That is an achievement. There you are, plodding around like some sort of Henry VIII. You sit at the big table, getting progressively fatter, eating all the foods that, the plebs can't afford, lording over everybody who's pretending that they want you as their queen and that they think that you're some amazing individual, when at the back of their mind they're all joking about you and making fun of you and gossiping about you. And the only reason that you think they love you is, one, you don't understand what they're saying, and two, nobody in their right mind would say it to you directly because, well, it's manners. They wouldn't. They literally just wouldn't. It's not in their culture. It's not in their nature. Say it to their face. But I would bet my entire life savings they're telling Salah what they think of you. You are in your little bubble now because you're somewhere where you think you are adored and somewhere where you think you are borderline worshipped and you think you are getting your due, your majesty. You're being laughed at and taken advantage of. And this will continue. And you won't see it because it's kind of wrapped in a bow and pretending to be, adoration. when it's not. You are a fucking joke. You are foul. You are vile. You are repulsive and repugnant, not just physically, but as an actual person, a character, you're a thing that breathes badly, that exists, unfortunately, and that we watch because, well, quite frankly, you're fascinating in the same way as watching flies demolish a carcass is fascinating in a really bizarrely gross way. You know, there's videos of people that are preserving bones for the museum, and they get these very, very specific flies to eat all the excess flesh of the carcass, you know, to clean it. That's their job. That's what they're born to do. And so they're kept in a little glass box with a skull of some creature, and they spend their entire life just eating the flesh and cleaning the bones so the bones can be put on display in a museum. Well, that's you. You're the human equivalent of those videos. It's disturbing, it's gross, but it's fascinating. You're despicable. You are. Well, I'm going to have to invent a word for you, and I'll come back with that. You are the blueprint, the poster child of who not to be. And the fact you cannot see any of this is what makes you fascinating.